Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Markets Talk Show. This is your host, Rian Hobson, and I need to apologize for the audio earlier. It was a bit terrible. But at least we are live for the NFP news, which is extremely important, and the audio is working. So that is a good thing. Please drop your comments, and then I will definitely respond to you. There's a few things that I will do with the news. If the news come out, I normally look at all the indicators. That is now obviously the NFP number, the unemployment number, and also the wages, and see how that goes in the United States. And then I look at Canada's news, the unemployment news, also figure out what is the story with Canada. For example, the part-time jobs and also the full-time jobs, and then I know precisely what is going on there. So it's a range of things that I first look at, and then I will actually do the trade. Just to look at the markets now, it's actually moving a bit strange. I will just actually share my screen with you. There we go. That is actually the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. That is the 1 hour chart. Just want to actually, because I want to see here on the 5 minute, it's been up and down. It's sitting there. This Australian US dollar is sitting on 0.73, trying to go back to the 0.74, but we will see what is going to happen with the NFP news, if it's bad, if it's good, or what we can say. But I think we can expect a bit of a bad number, and then you will see what is going on. And also with the USD Canada, this one will be actually quite jumpy all over the show, because for Canada, it's absolutely important, this news, to show will they continue with the tapering or not. There was a bit of up and down news for Canada, but I do think that Canadian news will be better, maybe because of the oil price, I think. And then that is where we can see actually if the Canadian dollar will actually do well. But very importantly, I am live, and we will actually do this news together. I can see guys are actually going up live. Please don't forget actually to use this link in my comments if you want to. I'm just actually going to give it to you. Use the link, and then you can, I'm just going to find this link. And then I will share this link with you if I find it, and then you can register actually your account. I will just take a short break, look at the link, and then I'll be back to you. There's about 3 minutes ago before the NFP news.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Welcome back, and we are basically 2 minutes away from actually the NFP news. And as I said, please, the best thing to do is to look at all the news first, and then you place your trade. If the news, for example, I'm just going to share this one as well with you. If the news is actually, we're expecting about 870,000 jobs on the NFP. If the news is close to it, I would say not to trade with it. The market will not run away. But if the news is really terrible, which I do expect, maybe a 500 or 600,000 jobs, that is exactly where we will trade. But other than that, don't even bother to trade. If it's too close to comfort, then it's better that you ignore the news. So, and then believe me, the market will not run away, so you will still have your money in your account. At least you will not trade in uncertain times. It's 1 minute to go. I'm just waiting for this news to come through. I will keep my screen on for this on the markets, and then I will actually show you. I will actually let you know what is the news. So we're expecting an 870, and we are actually very close to it now. 870, I would love to see bad news here, because then the dollar, the US dollar is actually gaining there. I'm just going to refresh it there. Maybe some good news for the US dollar. Just one moment. It is actually a bumper news. The non-farmers payrolls came out at 943. That is actually very good news. And then you have your unemployment rate at 5.4%. Oh, that is actually very good news for the US dollar. The non-farm payrolls private is on 703,000, and there was an estimate of about 700,000. Averagely hourly earnings is up. It's about 4%. This is absolutely good news for the US dollar. So one thing, it's good for the US dollar. Let's see on Canada, for example. Let me see on Canada's news. The employment change is not good for Canada. It's at 94,000, and they expected about 150,000. The full-time jobs is the big driver there on 83,000, part-time jobs on 11,000, and I don't know what is the average hourly earnings there. But then you have the unemployment rate at about 7.5%. Now, the unemployment rate is actually good, I must say, out of Canada, because they do expect that there a number of around 7.9, and then there's a consensus on 7.4, and I see the dollar is actually moving quite a way. Very importantly, you always get a heavy retracement in this news. So once the market jump, it doesn't mean you must go jump as well in. Normally, there's a pullback that comes in, and then you might see the dollar goes further on. But this is absolutely very good news for the US dollar. And there, actually, if you can see on the screen, I'm just going to actually make it bigger for you. You can see it always have a pullback. So the best thing is to rather don't jump in when everybody jump in. Let it pull back, let it give it about 15 minutes, and then you actually execute the trade. But I must say, this is absolutely good news for the US dollar. I would definitely look in favor for the US dollar. So that is absolutely very good signs there. Let me see, on the Australian dollar, then it means that it's moving downwards. This is the 5-minute chart there. It's actually pushing quite heavily there against the Australian dollar, and there's quite a heavy pullback there. It's actually removed. It actually went back. Let's look at the 1-hour chart. There's quite a heavy line here that sits with the Australian dollar. So I think that's why you had a pullback. But with that news from the US dollar, which is actually very good, I think we might see more momentum from the US side. The best thing is, as I said, don't fly in immediately when the news is coming out. It's rather better if you wait for a retracement, and then you can actually jump in. I think we might see the Australian dollar on 0.7339 maybe for today because of that news. Wait until the market comes down, and then you can jump in. As I say now, this is absolutely very good news. Let me check on the commodity side. If this news is good, then it means that we might see a softer metals number here. Gold. Gold is getting actually quite an average. Oh, shame. Gold is going down on 1790. Now, as I said, the account here, it's 225. And most of my traders, which they will take the class, they will basically start with the same amount. It's never wise with a $225 account to trade with gold, because then you just commit suicide there. It's rather better to be realistic and trade with your currencies, which is basically much cheaper. And obviously, my favorites, it is actually the Australian and the New Zealand dollar. Let me go to the majors there. Let me see how New Zealand is performing. Oh, New Zealand dollar is also pulling back quite heavily on a 4-hour. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, it's pulled back quite heavily. I think we might move it until there, and maybe we will see quite a pushback down. You must also remember there is actually the US markets is opening at about 3:30. So that is normally where the market behaves quite nicely when the US markets are actually opening. So it's normally not wise to jump in now. The best thing is to do is actually to jump in maybe before 3:30 or actually at 3 o'clock when the US market or that pre-session is actually opening. For now, you will see that behavior precisely where it reverses back and it looks very uncertain. Just to go over that statistics again of the non-farmers payrolls, just going back there again. Just give me one moment. I know a lot of people are excited when this news is coming out and everybody wants to jump in with immediately, and that is really not good. So non-farmers payrolls is at 943, unemployment is at 5.4%, which is good. And then you have our average hourly earnings at 0.4%, and that is actually in line with what was previous, but it's better than the forecast. On the other side, on Canada's news was bad, was at 94,000, and the forecast was at 148. So that is actually not good news for Canada at all. Let me see how the market is behaving now. I think the best thing is actually to go in at, I would say, after 3 o'clock. Let me see how is Canada performing. Canada, USD Canada. Oh, that one also pulled back quite heavily. Let me see here. Ooh. Yeah, no, it's actually been pulling back quite heavily, yeah. So I can just imagine if people just look at the news and jumped in, and then you have to sit with a pullback like that. Always, when you're trading with high frequency news, the best thing to do is rather let the market behave as what it does, and you wait. You wait rather. Let it come down. There's still a US session that comes in, which will be at around 3:30. Pre-session is at 3 o'clock. Then I would say it's your license to kill there. But in this pullback time, it's actually a nice pullback. It looks like a very nice buy, actually. But I would say it's better if you just wait until the market comes down and then you jump in. Someone drops a comment and say USD CAD to push up, coach. Yeah, I would say that definitely. It looks like it can actually go up because of that bad news out of Canada, and also and the good news out of the United States. Fair enough, a good point there. I will see with that pullback there. I also want to see something here. Oh, yeah, it's actually pulling back quite nicely. And I think it's looks on me actually like a very good buy. Please do also be advised that it is actually risky to trade. The possibility of losing money is about 73%. So it is actually quite a high statistic for losing money in the market. Australian, this is quite strange. Australian dollar is actually reversing back up again. There's quite a up and down story there with USD Canada. Let's see. Yeah. Australia and USD. New Zealand and the USD looks basically the same. It looks up and down there. But the news is actually very good. That's one thing. I will just wait until it calms down a bit. We're sitting at 1440. And normally I would say looks fair enough to me. USD CAD, I would say I would definitely, with the small account with 225, don't now trade hocus pocus. This is the minimum standard lot for markets.com. I will place an order. Wait, let me just do this over again for you. I would go USD CAD. I would say, USD CAD buy, and you go in with your standard lot. This is the smallest amount of 1,000, and this is the smallest amount, so I would place my order on buy there. And then with 225, honestly speaking, you can't now expect miracles. You have to be realistic when you are trading. You can't now, for example, trade with a volume of 1 or 2 or something like that. So you have to munch the market, basically, or $1, $2 like that. So you can't now expect $20. Maybe it's possible, but honestly speaking, you have to be now really realistic with yourself when you are trading with these currencies. I will actually Australia. Australia. I'd also go with the standard lot, the smallest that you can find, which is now sell, which is 1,000. And then I would go in and sell. And there we go. And then you leave it. I would say possibly I would like to run it at say about until 6 or so. And 6 o'clock, maybe normally I would say then I jump out. And then I will close the trade. So those are my 2 trades. I sold Australia USD and USD CAD I bought, and they both going about in the green. And basically, I would take about $1, $2 like that, because of the size of the account is 225. So I have to be realistic. But I will leave it until 6. But if, for example, I would say, with today's economy, with your COVID and all this nonsense that, I'm not supposed to say that word, but with all this uncertainty in the world, it's better if you can, maybe for an hour trade or maybe 2 hours, and then you get out, you take your profit, and then you go. Because there's so many things that do happen with the market. So the best thing is actually to take your money and jump. Now, honestly, if I get $1 out of each or $2 out of each, we have to be realistic here. And then you take your profits and then you go, or $2, for example, or $3 or something like that. Because we have to be realistic. The account is 225. Other traders that I take my classes with is on 250, 300, 400, like that. So some of them are sitting on $600. So if you, for example, with such small account, I would say ignore gold. Everybody likes to trade with gold. But if your account is not over $1,000 or $2,000, then please don't now be voodoo. Try to trade like a voodoo master and create money quickly. Be realistic with yourself. The account is small, so you have to trade small. And I understand this news is actually very good news for the US dollar, but you must remember this thing can reverse also. I don't know what can happen. I don't like to trade with a stop loss, first of all. So anything can happen. This thing can reverse. It can, I don't know, any weird thing can happen. But you have to be realistic with yourself and to see $250, $300 account. It's a small account. The best thing is, as I said, for South Africans, this world will not get better for South Africa as long as the ANC is there. And so you have to actually protect your dollars at all times. If you guys want to leave a comment with the classes, that is the one thing that I actually want to get is the link. You guys can actually if you do get the link, sorry, I will get the link, and then you register the account, and then also you can basically take the classes. Obviously, I will not be so far at Christmas as I am now. And copy. And I'm just gonna get that. Okay, here's the link in comments. You can subscribe. It's absolutely free, my classes. The class is absolutely free. You can take my classes, and then I will actually give it to you for free of charge with all the notes, all the steps when it comes to NFP or any economics news. Because honestly speaking, this news is of importance. Because if the job numbers are good, which is in the central bank's policy statement, where they do say that they need price stability, maximum employment and price stability, and this is actually working towards their goals. So that's why the NFP is so jumpy. So it means that possibly they might actually look at tapering because the economy is on the right track. So that is actually the main thing, and that's why this news is actually important. Stephen Andrews was asking, can you open an account being a US resident? I will have to find out for you for that, but I know there's normally problems when it comes to the United States. That is the honest thing there. The rules there in the United States is actually quite strong, but normally there is problems with the United States. Stephen, I'm really sorry there. Hello, I hope all is well. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm actually quite brave here trading live. So thanks a lot for the comment. So yeah, so that is actually it from my side. I will leave it until 6 if something bad happens, and then I will just take my losses. So the market will jump up and down. That's why I take small volumes, so that it can sustain the movements up and down and all of that. But it's actually very good news for the US dollar. So I assume that the dollar will come out. I would like to connect with you. Oh, sorry. There is someone. Uitstekend, meneer Robson. Andre Hubert, dankie. There's another one. I would like to connect with you and discuss potential partnership. Actually, with markets.com. Sorry about that. Markets.com is the sponsor of this show, and they actually do sponsor all this that I have here on you and can actually stay live on this. I will just take a short break and then I'll be back with you.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hey, welcome back. I'm still in with the trade, and yes, another comment. Great, thank you, Omar. Thanks a lot. And so we are still in with the trade. Actually, about I'm close to my target. Actually, over my target of $1.30. As I said, we have to be realistic here. The account is only $2.25. So if you make your dollar, if you make your $2, and you took a low volume, don't now wish for $100. Unless you have $1,000 US, then I would say yes, you can. But honestly, we have to be realistic here. The account is small, volumes obviously needs to be small, and obviously I can only trade about open up 2 trades to be realistic here. So basically, I reached my target here. I'm close to $2. And this is for my students that are with me. So I'm starting with you from the same point of where you are, and you will see my account also every day as we build this account up. So please do register for an account, and I will teach you absolutely free, and I will teach you how you build actually an account and not lose it, because every dollar in South Africa is extremely valuable. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I will close my positions. I'm done here. I'm not gonna waste any more time here. I'm done. There is my $1. So I'm actually on 226. This is actually how you build the account. Not to be greedy, because honestly, I know everybody wants money, but we have to be realistic also. Please have a lovely weekend, and thanks a lot for tuning in, and all the best with trading. And please do subscribe for the classes, and then I will teach you on. Thanks a lot for Markets.com, who is the sponsor of this show. And when you register, you will also be part of the Markets.com family. Have a lovely weekend. I will see you guys next week, Monday, with some more news on the market.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.